lesson 11. In lesson 11, we're still finding missing angles. This time, though, we're focused on a complete circle, or 360 degrees. And so when I look at this symbol right here, that means it wants to know what this angle is going all the way around. That's called a reflex angle. So any angle that is bigger than 180 degrees is called a reflex angle. It's larger than 180 degrees. Okay, so if this whole circle, pretend like that's a big full circle, is 360, and we're taking a 20-degree pi chunk out of that circle, okay, see that pi chunk coming out? Then we have 340 degrees left, so D right here is going to be 340 degrees. Okay, so right here, this is a 90-degree angle. We know because it has that right corner right there. And then we have 360 degrees if we include the 90, but we're taking a 90-degree chunk out of that 360 degrees, okay? So think of that as a big circle with that piece of pie cut out. So I have 360 minus the 90. Some of you might have automatically known that it was 270, because if you think about this, like we did the last ones, that's 90, 90, 90, and 3 90s are 270 degrees. So this is going to be 270 plus 90 is 360. So C, this reflex angle, is 270 degrees. So the reflex angle is bigger than 180. Okay, down here we have a few more. All right, so here we can see that this line here, that is not a straight line. It's close to a straight line, but it is not a straight line. So we know this is a 90 and this is a 74. We need to figure out what this angle right here is, okay? So to do that, we're going to do 90 plus 74. 0 plus 4 is 4. 9 plus 7 is 16. So altogether, this angle right here is 164. Okay, now we still have our whole circle, and this is what's left of our circle down there. And we've got to figure out what's left. That's E. So if I have 360 degrees for my whole loop all the way around, I've used 164. And I have 196 left. So down here I would have 74 plus 90 plus 196 equals 360. And 196 degrees is E here, my reflex angle. All right, and then over here we have a 160 degree angle. Here we know this is a right angle because of the square corner right there. And we have to figure out this. This is an obtuse angle. It's not bigger than 180, but it's not smaller than a 90 either. So that's this one right here is what we're figuring out. And it's good to know right off the top it's an obtuse angle, which means it's going to be somewhere between 90 and 180 degrees. Somewhere between, oh, you can't see that. Somewhere between 90 and 180 is what it's going to be. Okay? So we know all the way around this point, like this is a whole circle, right? All the way around there is 360. And let's go ahead and put these two parts together. Let's put 160 plus 90 together to make it easier. 9 plus 6 is 15. So I've used 250 out of the 360. So we're going to subtract. So that F right there is 110 degrees. So down here I would have the 90 and the 160 and the 110, and that equals 360 total degrees, and F is that 110 degrees. All right. So it's all like figuring out a puzzle. It's just going to take some practice, okay? Here's another puzzle we have to figure out. Okay. So here's our puzzle. We're going to focus on this line, whoops, AB. Okay, these are intersecting lines. We're going to focus on line AB. AB is 180 degrees, okay? So if this part is 60 right here, and we know we had 180 minus 160, we're going to have 20 left. So to finish up, like if we think about, we're not even looking at this bottom half, if we just think about that line, 160 plus 20 is 180. Okay? Now what you're going to notice is that when we have two intersecting lines, the angles that are opposite each other are the same. You're going to notice down here that that's going to happen. So here we go, same line AC, but now we're focusing on the bottom section of that line. So if I have 20 here, so I have 180, and I have 20, and I'm going to subtract, that leaves me with 160. X is going to be 160 degrees. Okay, and notice 160 is opposite the other side there. So the angles that are opposite each other in intersecting lines are going to be the same degrees. So I didn't even have to do math on that one. I could have just known what those angles were based on the fact that they were opposite of each other. So, okay, let's look at this one. If this one's 125 degrees, then the angle opposite it, H, up here, is 125 degrees. I don't have to do any math. When I have two intersecting lines, the angle on the opposite side is going to be the same degree. So I have 125 degrees. Now, let's pick either side. Focus on this line, RS, okay? We're just going to pick the bottom side, okay? So if I have 180, that's RS, okay, that yellow line, and then I used up 125, subtract, 10 minus 5 is 5, 7 minus 2 is 5, I have nothing left. This is a 55-degree angle, and this over here is a 55-degree angle. So both G and I are 55 degrees. Okay, because when I have two intersecting lines, the opposite angles are the same. All right. Now this one gets a little more complicated, but we can do it. Okay, so first of all, let's look at what we know. This is a 36-degree angle, and this line here and this line here intersect, okay? So the one opposite of 36 is K. K is going to be 36. So let's just get that one out of the way. We know that one's going to be 36. Okay, and we know this one right here is 90. Okay, we know that one's 90. Okay, so let's focus on this bottom half for right now. And I like to use another piece of paper because it just helps me not be confused. Okay, look at my nails, they're awful. I need to paint those things. Anyway, so this bottom half, there's my 180. Y to Z is 180. And I've used 36. So I have 180 minus 36. 10 minus 6 is 4. 7 minus 3 is 4. Bring down the 1. So this angle N is 144. Okay. So if that angle N is 144, we can do one of two things. First of all, we know that this angle here, W to Z, that whole angle right there is going to be 144. But we also know that this blue line here is 180 degrees. And we already know two of the parts. We already know 36 and 90. So let's just start with this. We know it's 180. We're going to take away 90, and that's going to leave us with 90. Look, we also know, I didn't even, here, let me try a different color. We also know that this right here is a right angle, right? And if that's 36, then we can subtract 90 and figure out what that is. So that's what we're about to do. So 90 minus 36. 10 minus 6 is 4. 8 minus 3 is 5. So M right here, M is 54 degrees. It's just adding and subtracting, and it's just knowing how to add and subtract based on the rules of those angles. We'll do some other ones in our morning meeting just to kind of help you get used to doing these types of angles. And if you need help, please get back on with me. Thanks, guys.